Good evening, folks. John Sampson, Fish House 360, and tonight I'm going to talk to you a little bit about ICNuts, the company. ICNuts or winch driver tools. This company is owned by Robin and Eric Rash, right out of Minnesota here, and they've got just a fantastic product line going on. They have everything on their website from full replacement winch sets all the way down to the itty bitty parts, which is what I have sprawled out in front of me. And the reason I have all these parts is most recently, I did a video on my experience with pulling my winches apart, grinding a bunch of rust off of them, re-greasing everything, and then putting everything back together. And what I found is I'm the type of guy that likes to replace those little parts as I go, because it's always been my opinion that it's easy to do in my garage with a full catalog of tools, time, temperature controlled, and not doing it on Lake of the Woods when it's 35 below. So the best I can do to mitigate that risk, I'm going to, and do those replacements in my garage at home. Anyhow, so I'm going through replacing these parts, and I found out that I needed a little retainer clip. The ICNuts itself is a piece of laser cut steel that goes on the end of the winch shaft. It's held on with a small retainer clip, a little spring clip, and I bent one, and so I reached out to Eric and I said, hey, I've got to get one of these reordered. As he and I dialogued back and forth, I really decided that it would be in my best interest to gather a collection of spare parts, basically anything that can break or fall off or otherwise cause me great inconvenience. I want to have extras in my box. And I'm going to go through that box here in another video at another time on everything that I take with me as far as being able to field maintain my ice castle. But I put together a list, or Eric rather helped me put together a list of everything I need. I got that ordered up and sent down, and I just wanted to share that with you of basically what the list is of I think are good spare parts to have. This all goes in one Ziploc bag. It's going to travel in that box. It's all going to be in one spot. Really easy for me to get to should I need it. So effectively, if we think about the cables, I was sent a couple of these saddle clamps, and these are for the front cable on the tongue of the trailer. They hold that cable down. So I had him send me a couple of those saddle clamps there. And then there is this little saddle, which I just replaced all these. I got these ordered from ICNuts as well. It's a little saddle kit, or I call it a saddle kit if that's appropriate. And that holds the loose end of the cable to the drum of the winch. I also had Eric send me 3 actual ICNuts themselves, just in case I were to lose a retainer clip and all of a sudden I get to Lake of the Woods or back home and one of these has found its way off the ice castle. I've got a set of 3. And then because I like having lots of spare parts, I had him send me the 1-inch socket as well as the appropriate driver bit for that. And so I've got that. That'll ride around in the box. I also had Eric send me a number of these C-clips, or these retainer clips. They're a different style retainer clip than what keeps this ICNut on. These are on the winch body themselves. On the there's 2 on each shaft, or 1 on each shaft rather, 2 per winch, and they keep the actual shaft locked into the winch. I did have a scenario a few years ago on Lake of the Woods where I was cranking up the ice castle. I had somehow lost one of these C-clips. I didn't know it. That winch shaft started to back out. And as my dad and best friend and his dad were in the ice castle getting things ready to go, we were going to head out. The winch shaft backed out. I was only maybe 6 inches off the ground, and the thing came crashing back to the ground. It scared everybody. Fortunately, my toes weren't underneath the castle. Nobody got hurt, but I had one of these spare retainer clips, C-clips, in my box. So it was maybe a 10-minute inconvenience. Got the shaft back in place, got that retainer clip back on, and we were off to the races. So now I've got a good supply of those. There's a toggle switch, Exhibit A, that is on the winch. Allows a guy to toggle it from locking in the raising or locking in the lowering position, one of 2 directions. So I had Eric send me 3 of those toggle switches as well as their little springs. I've lost maybe 1 of these in my time, and they're just not a spring that you can gather or get at any sort of Ace Hardware or Napa, so I'm glad to have those in my collection. And then these little spring clips or retainer clips here that hold the actual IC nut itself on the end of the winch shaft, I've got a good little supply of those as well. And I actually have to put some of these on my ice castle before I head out here in a few weeks. So I would strongly encourage you, if you're thinking about winch maintenance, if you're looking for a place to go for parts, you can search the internet and that's fine. It's easiest just to call or message, email, message on Facebook is how I get a hold of Eric and Robin. I just message them and say, here's what I need, and we set it up, and I go to their website and I get it ordered, and they're really fast shipping, they're really responsive, and so they are absolutely a company worth supporting. Every year I replace, in the fall, I replace my winch cables, whether I need to or not. It's probably ridiculous security or kind of an insurance, but I do it because it's pretty cheap insurance. And that way I'm not chancing that last thread of that last stretch of cable when I'm out on Lake of the Woods. That is not the time that I want to be doing maintenance on the ice castle. So reach out to Robin and Eric Rash. They are supporters of ICOG. They have been very generous with donations to ICOG. They're supporters of Fish House 360, as well as a number of the other ice castle or fish house related groups that you'll see on Facebook there. So again, very generous folks, very willing to give back to the communities, and so for that reason I feel very strongly about supporting them, and I would encourage you to do so. If you have any questions about winch maintenance, check out my video, and if there's anything you want to drill down on further, I am absolutely open to questions, or how did you do that, or what did you find when you did that, and love to have that dialogue with you guys. So thanks for bearing with me. Have a great night, and reach out to Robin and Eric. Get all your winch parts ordered from them. Thanks. We'll see you soon.